能回到新疆吗？
Я с Одессы. Приехала буквально неделю назад.
I think we've teleported to Europe. 那你觉得Kazakhstan 怎么样？
好的呀。
Я был в Алмате, очень красивый город.
Ой, вообще красиво, молодец.
У вас очень красивая улыбка. Хорошего дня вам.
Пригородную торгу на Лабаю. Экспо Плаза торговый кишина Алдамасы. Остановка жилой комплекс Экспо Плаза.
Привет, друзья! Hello everyone, and welcome to day 4 of our epic Central Asia adventure. And we're in a city I've been wanting to see for a long time. We are in Astana. I took the public bus, but you can only use some kind of WePay type thing they've got. Hey, привет, друзья! Making friends already. Anyhow, they have some sort of WePay type thing here, but if you're not a local, it's almost impossible to use the bus service here. So I gave the guy my coins, he rejected it, but he let me on, and out of good faith, I gave him a box of walnuts I hadn't finished yet. Respect the people who give you a break in life. So let's talk a little bit about the great nation of Kazakhstan. So did you know that Kazakhstan is the 9th largest country in landmass on the planet? And from its most northwestern point to its furthest southeast is the same distance from London to Istanbul. You can see a church here in Astana, Kazakhstan being a nation that embraces religious diversity due to having 131 different ethnic groups. Found this little hole in the wall joint that's got us some Plov, which is the most traditional meal in Central Asia and all the stans, including Afghanistan, and also very famous in Western China as well, in Xinjiang province. I've also got us some Manti, and I'm going to dig in because I'm starving. It's so good. And it's fresh, just cooked. Hello everyone and welcome to my humble abode for the Astana leg of the trip, and it's actually pretty nice. In the burbs, which is good, off the beaten track, bit of Soviet architecture around. As mentioned yesterday, Kazakhstan is famous for having some of the most unworldly like land formations. And those ones we just saw, the big balls out in the desert, and here are some other ones. Why is Kazakhstan so wealthy? Kazakhstan is a producer and exporter of oil, one of the big ones, and is also home to 100 different elements and minerals. And no, Kazakhstan is not the #1 exporter of potassium. The #1 exporter of potassium, according to 2023 data, I believe, is Canada. Bet you didn't know that. Now uranium, on the other hand, well, that's another big export here. Kazakhstan being a landlocked nation and Astana being very inland, it has what we call a continental climate that has incredibly hot summers, but also incredibly cold winters. The temperatures can get down as low as the -40s. That there is the Hazrat Sultan Mosque. It is one of the largest mosques in Central Asia and has the largest dome in Kazakhstan. Got a nice coffee at a Swish cafe, the view of the mosque. Life's good.
Alright, you see that arc in the wall at the very, very back in front of us. That there is called the Qibla wall in the Mihrab, and that faces the Kaaba in Mecca, and that is where people of the Islamic faith need to be facing when they pray.
Well, if there's one thing you need to understand about Islam, that is the 5 pillars of Islam, which are Shahada, Salat, Zakat, Saum and Hajj. Shahada meaning to acknowledge there is only one God, and that is Allah, and the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, is his messenger. Salat means to pray 5 times a day. Zakat means an obligatory charity to help the poor and needy. Saum means to fast during Ramadan. And then the final one, Hajj, which means to do a pilgrimage to the Kaaba in Mecca if you are physically and financially able. Now you know them, the 5 pillars of Islam. Sorry to make you a bit dizzy there, just giving you a 360-degree view of everything you can see here at Independence Square, right in the bang middle of Astana. That towering monument behind me is the Kazakh Eli Monument. And it's an important monument too, because it's 91 meters tall, which is fitting because 1991 was the year that Kazakhstan separated from the Soviet Union. Eventually. You see, they were the last country to leave, stayed on for 4 more days after the dissolution, being the entire Soviet Union for a short while. But beyond the 91 meter significance, on the top of it is the golden samrock. The mythical bird that symbolizes freedom, prosperity, and future. Very fitting for a city like Astana. The Baiterek, the most iconic Kazakh monument. The mythical tree of life, and inside there is the golden hand from Nursultan Nazerbayev. It was an 1.5 hour long wait to get into the Baiterek, so we're going to get up at the crack of dawn tomorrow and we'll try and get in before the crowds come. We've got up nice as early as promised. We're going to try and get into the Baiterek and see the hand of Nursultan Nazerbayev. While we're waiting patiently to get into the Baiterek, I thought we'd make a little bit of content to pass the time. So I'm going to tell you about why the capital moved from Almaty to Astana in 1997. The president at the time, Nursultan Nazarbayev, wanted to have all his home affairs and state affairs to be done somewhere far away from the bordering nations of Kyrgyzstan, Uzbekistan and China, because Almaty is very close to all of those 3 countries. You're probably thinking, well, if you look on a map, Astana is relatively close to Russia, so didn't you just move away from some countries and further to another? But Kazakhstan has always kept good diplomatic and economic ties with Russia. You see, Nursultan Nazarbayev went up the ranks, being an engineer, then getting into politics, and he climbed the ladder during the USSR. But Nursultan Nazarbayev has always been a proud Kazakh and a big spokesman and advocate for maintaining Kazakh language, Kazakh culture, and Kazakh nomad traditions as well. Well, somewhere down in that direction, assuming that I am pointing inland southeast, about an 8-hour drive, 730 odd kilometers, is Semipalatinsk. Now, during the Soviet Union, when the Cold War was heating up, no pun intended, the USSR were creating nuclear bombs should things get out of hand. And they tested those bombs in the vast steppe lands of Semipalatinsk over 437 times. That was years and years of testing. The damage was irreparable. Physiological, physical, economical, psychological damage for the people who were there and moved or are still there. And that area is now one of the most polluted in the whole world. Some argue more polluted than Chernobyl. Anyhow, people are starting to queue up, but we'll talk again soon. I've made it to get a touch Nazarbayev's hand, his golden hand. Nearly there. It's been a long wait. Finally, the moment we've all been waiting for. It was worth the wait. Checking out the view and trying to make some friends as well. Откуда вы? Я из Казахстана люди.
В Казахстане.
Астана?
Город Алматы.
Алматы?
Да.
Я был в Алматы. Очень красивый город.
Ой, вообще красиво.
Я люблю Алматы.
Молодец.
Молодец. Очень приятно. Спасибо. What's that? I'm just taking a whimsical guess, but I'm assuming maybe that's the music that's played if someone's hand fits exactly in Nursultan Nazerbayev's. And 你是哪里的人？
来自中国新疆。
中国新疆。那你在这里旅行，还是你在这里读书？旅行。那你会待在这里多久？
大概
一个星期就走。那我回到新疆吗？那你觉得Kazakhstan 怎么样？
好的呀。
好吗？喜欢哈。好，很高兴认识你们。很高兴认识你，谢谢，谢谢。Rahmat，拜拜。Well, that was interesting. So that family that I just met there, who were very friendly and came up to me and wanted to take pictures together, they were from Xinjiang province in China. So they were Uyghur people, the Uyghurs being a Turkic group that has close affinities and ties with the majority of the other Turkic groups here in Central Asia, particularly here in Kazakhstan and also in Uzbekistan as well. And that's something that not a lot of people realize about China, is that China's an incredibly diverse country and it has 53 different ethnic minority groups there as well, one of which is the Uyghur people and also the Dungans as well, two ethnic minority groups from China that have significant populations here in other Central Asian countries. Well, it's been a blast. I made friends with everyone up here, but it's time to go and do a bit more sightseeing because we're heading off tonight. Got myself a little espresso, a little donut, and I'm going to need those carbs and that caffeine because the next place we're going to is about an hour walk away. If you want to burn some calories, I suggest you come travel in Astana. Anyhow, another opportunity to soak up a bit more of the view. Oh, and I found out what that music was that we heard before. I asked one of the waiters there. Apparently, every 12 or 15 minutes, they blast that music. Nothing to do with the hand size or being a perfect match. This is quite the picnic spot here, lots of happy people having picnics. Oh snap, I forgot to do my Duolingo. Они скоро уедут за границу. There's a certain monument I've been hanging out to see here in Kazakhstan for a long, long time. I'm going to give you a quick peek, but then we're going to eat, and then we're going to go look at it up close and personal. You probably think I'm selling out here, eating this delicious Turkish meal when I'm supposed to be eating only Kazakh food and experimenting with the local cuisine. But actually, Turkey and Kazakhstan are more related than you might realize. They're both Turkic people, and the languages, Kazakh and Turkish, are incredibly similar, to the point that when Kazakhstan people go to Turkey, they can actually communicate using their own languages and have a successful transaction. Just like Italian people speaking to Spanish people can speak in their own languages and understand each other. The differences between Almaty and Astana are incredibly stark. Almaty is more like something you'd expect to see in an Eastern European or Caucasus country, versus Astana is more like something you'd expect to see in an Arabian Gulf nation. Anyhow, the moment you've all been waiting for. The Nur Alem. It is the world's largest spherical building, and it generates its own power. I'm also appeared to have stumbled through the Astana University. Maybe I can study here, get a degree in, I don't know, content creation? I think we've teleported to Europe. We could be in Paris. These big white marble buildings in the Arc de Triomphe in the middle of the highway. Well, here's something I bet you didn't know. Kazakhstan has some phenomenally good ice cream. And look at that. Dubai chocolate gelato. Hello everyone, I'm here with a new friend I met from Ukraine. She speaks English, she speaks Russian, Ukrainian, Kazakh.
No, Kazakh.
No Kazakh?
No, Kazakh, yes.
So whereabouts in Ukraine are you from?
City?
City?
Yes. Я могу говорить на русский?
Хорошо.
Я с Одессы.
Одесса?
Вот, приехала буквально неделю назад. Пробую жизнь. В принципе, здесь очень красиво. Красивые здания, крутые люди. У людей классный вайбик. Вайб. Good vibe.
Люди очень дружелюбные.
Yes, yes.
Yes, very friendly. Какие жизнь в Астана?
Здесь погода сумасшедшая. Crazy weather, really. Because it can be so windy 1 minute ago, and 1 minute, second minute it will be like really sunny, like plus 31, and
So weather changes all the time.
Yes,
maybe
yes.
3 times in one
yes.
day.
And I was here in the winter.
Yeah.
And
snowing?
Yes. Очень холодно,
Очень холодно.
снежно, очень ветрено. Ну, действительно.
Каждый день идет дождь.
Сейчас да.
Сейчас да.
Да, день через день дождь.
День через дождь. Last question, you're making some business. Did you want to tell what your business is, or?
Я из рекламной кампании. Вот предлагаю сейчас людям посетить Тау-парк. Здесь это новая зона отдыха. Вот на бассейне можно покататься, весело провести время на машинках, там картинг, квадроциклы. Вот, просто предлагаю, потому что это довольно выгодно для людей и для компании. Люди сэкономят, а компания приобретет новых людей, отзывы. Вот. Очень было приятно, на самом деле, познакомиться, увидеть новых людей здесь. Вот.
Спасибо за помощь.
Вам
Очень приятно.
спасибо.
Really nice to meet you.
У вас очень красивая улыбка. Хорошего дня вам.
Thank you. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Baka-baka. There you go. Making new friends and doing a bit of business. Another really nice Kazakh gentleman we bumped into there. Everywhere I go, everyone is super friendly, super hospitable, and they all want to be friends. The first horses to be tamed were tamed here in Kazakhstan, and the horse has a very significant meaning for Kazakhstan. Not just in terms of domestication and animal husbandry, but also in its cuisine. But Mongolia, well, they might debate the whole who tamed the horse first. What an awesome time we've had here. Definitely recommend this place to anyone. Hello, how are you going? There we go, making friends even as we're doing our outro. With the view of the presidential palace over the lake, what better place to sign off from the Astana leg of our epic Central Asian adventure. Rome's great, London's great, New York is great, but Astana is greater. So come here, you'll love it. Anyway, stay tuned for the next one because we're going back in time. I'll see you there. Hello. Hello.
Мықты азаматтардың
Кто Khoja Ahmed Yasawi? This is literally what I think of when I think about the Silk Road. I think we're in Aladdin. I'm not too sure what the rules are around being here. It's hectic. Now take.
Рахмет үлкен. Ассаламу алейкум тағы да құрметті